So in this video, we're going to show you a basic game design. So in this video, we use a lot of references to C.G. Bourne. This is where I got a lot of these ideas from. I downloaded this file from blendswap.com, and it wasn't programmed. It just had the three-dimensional file. So I just want to show you how you would program it, how you would move it, and shoot the tank in a three-dimensional game. So there's going to be two parts to this video. The first part is just a demonstration. The second part is the actual logic blocks that are involved in making this game and how to go about shooting the tank and moving the tank. Alright, so when I click P on my keyboard for play, P for play, P for play. When I click P, I can turn it. I'm turning it. When I press A, I can move it. And another thing that I can do is when I press F, I can shoot it. Now I can increase or decrease the rate of firing. Let me show you. So I'm going to expand this window right here. You see how it says F. F is to shoot it. So you need a keyboard function, a sensor. The keyboard sensor is F. When you press F on the keyboard, it gives you now program it with an actuator. You have an X, Y, and Z direction. You want simple motion. I can increase the rate. Sorry, let me go back. I did it the wrong way. I can increase or decrease the rate of firing. In this case, it's negative in the Z direction. Now what I'm doing is, you'll see how faster it goes. Previously, that goes super fast. So that is just an idea of sensors and actuators with logic blocks. In the next part of this video, I'm going to actually show you the composition of how you make the tank shoot. How you can make any game file shoot something. Shoot, move, whatever. Any type of logic block involving Blender. Alright, so in this video, I'm showing you the actual composition now of the tank in programming it. So this was done in C.G. Bourne. I just want to show an application of it now on a three-dimensional object that is really, really complicated and complex. And it just makes you think, what part am I moving? So the first thing I'm going to do is click on this. I already think I have it programmed to rotate. If you take a look, if I just move my mouse, it rotates. So what happens is, let me just move this down here. It says movement. There's the movement sensor. You click mouse, here are all the different sensors you can click and choices that you have. So movement, we could click left button to move it. We just have simple mouse movement. And then look at what happens if, so we only use the X direction. What happens if we use the Y direction? So let's say if I use the Y direction, it goes like that, which is a little bit weird. I mean, if you want to make a tank that is pretty awesome in the Y direction, and say shoot planes or something like a science fiction, game where you're shooting planes and crap like that, then go ahead, use the Y direction. But that will also influence, say you're shooting something, and the pathways that you need to shoot like an explosion or a bullet. But in this case, we're just going to keep it on the Y direction. So that is the simple rotation, because you need that rotation to shoot your fire, to shoot your bullets or whatever the proper jargon is. So the next part is now. So I just want to let you know that we already have that. So I'm going to add a mesh. And the mesh, this was done in C.G. Bourne. I want to do it again, just as an application to. So here's my plane axes. This is important. So you see how this green arrow, you need that green arrow to go in the right direction. You see how this goes in the green arrow to the right direction. They have to kind of be in the same plane kind of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that, and I just got to rearrange it. I'm going to put that right by the right by here. This plane axis is important. I'm not sure exactly how to describe what it does, but it's definitely important when you're shooting something. So now we're going to add logic to it, and then what we want to do is join all this stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is click mouse, left button when you fire. Alright, now I'm going to create an actuator. This actuator is going to be motion, and we're going to do -0.5. Alright, so what we're going to do is, let me just add this up, and we're going to have to come back here and add an additional actuator to it, and that actuator would be edit object, and then we're going to add the torus movement. Okay, we're going to add that object, and that's going to sync here. So what I'm going to do is now add the mesh and do a torus. What I'm going to do is scale it down. I press RX90 to get it in the direction that I need it to fire, and then what I want to do is scale it. I press S to scale it. Alright, so I'm now syncing it, not syncing, but making it kind of go in the same plane direction, and they're all pointing the same, and like if there's a sagittal plane kind of. Alright, so we have this. Now what I want to do is program this. This has to be programmed as well. So I go to keyboard, it's keyboard this time, and I want to say, we said F last time, so I'm going to press F. An actuator of motion, -0.5, and then I'm going to join the sensor and the actuator. Alright, so what I did was I now programmed the torus, and I made it -0.5 in magnitude and direction. So that is, and I made it so that when you press F, it comes up. Now this is the hardest part that we have to figure out. So what we're going to do is go back to the plane axes, and then we're going to add, I know there's all these parts when I downloaded this file on BlendSwap, but I want to type in torus, and then the torus comes up. So now the torus is in the file. Now what I'm going to do is add that actuator to the controller, and now it's a multi-programmed system that we have. The last part is I want to show you why you need to do this. So I click B. All right. You see how it doesn't sync with it. The bullet doesn't sync with the file. When I press F, it shoots it, but it doesn't sync. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the plane axes, press Shift, and then Control P. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. I was in the wrong direction. Let me try it again. Click Shift, join it somewhere. Join it somewhere on your thing, and then Object. So that links the plane axes object with one of the nozzles of the tank cannon. And then I get the torus. I'm going to link it with one of the nozzles of the tank cannon too. And then Control P, Object. Now you're going to see what I'm going to do in a minute. Now it syncs it. It makes it go all in the same direction. And when I press F, it shoots it. And now I can move and shoot. Now you can increase your rate of firing as I showed you before. And there's ways that you can have it so that the torus is not there. I'm just showing you the simplest way of doing this. So I move and I shoot. Thank you. That's the conclusion of this video.